Okay, so New Zealand has a new resource for embodied carbon emissions data for construction materials. This is the Neco2 tool by BRANZ and Masterspec. And what I'm going to show you is how you can access this data directly inside your existing design software, use it within your models or run a mapping process and run those calculations to take this data and understand the emissions of the materials used in your project and how you can then export that out to Greenstar to understand the full life cycle of those materials. So we'll search for a material here on the Neco tool, and I'll show you how that shows up in Nezo in your design software, how you can import it and run a full life cycle. Cool. So let's search for something commonly used. We'll just type in EC20 to bring up some concrete results. Let's come down to something like a 25 MPa concrete. So we'll click on this option. Now what we're seeing here is the results for the upfront embodied carbon emissions. That's A1 to A3. This is the emissions generated when you manufacture the product, or it's also known as cradle to gate. It doesn't cover maintenance, replacement, end of life, even transport to site, construction related emissions. So we have that information here. It's fantastic. It's great to have this resource. It's a big step forward from the old BRANZ CO2 instruct, but it's still not usable to you in an efficient way. It's still not as accessible as you necessarily need to be efficient in running these calculations in your place of work. And on its own, it's not fast. The solution Nezo solves all that for you, and I'll show you exactly how that works. So we have that product here, we have some data, but everything changes when you can access it inside your design software. I've opened up Nezo inside of Revit here, for example. This works exactly the same if you're in ArchiCAD. It works exactly the same if you are in SketchUp as well. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to write EC20 into the search. And here under substructure, let's bring in this material down to 25 MPa. It was the Auckland location we chose. So there's that material available here inside of the Nezo tool as well. So any material you're going to find in the BRANZ Masterspec database, you will now have access to via Nezo inside of Revit, inside of ArchiCAD. What we'll do is we're going to apply that material inside of the model. And then I'm going to sync this model into the Nezo dashboard and export a Greenstar tool. I'll show you how we can actually look at the full life cycle of that material through to end of life. So just jumping back, you can see that that information is currently not available within this database resource. And if you were to work out the A4 transport emissions, you would need to download the emissions rates and the transport routes and run that calculation yourself. Using Nezo with Greenstar, all of that is done at the click of a button for you. So let's apply that material. We will apply it to the floor slab in this case. So we just brought in a simple concrete mix, and I'm going to add the EC20 in there to replace that. Now there are materials available in the database that would include for the likes of reinforcement, so you don't have just the concrete, you have the full composite of materials. But just for demonstration, we'll keep it very simple and just work with the concrete. Cool. So I can continue to import as many materials from here that I would like to use within the project. Once I'm done, we'll return back to the project that we've created for this that I've already set up. Okay, so now I'm just going to link and upload that model. Now the steps so far, where I identified what materials I wanted to specify in my project, I've found them on the Nezo database, which makes all of the materials on the BRANZ Masterspec database available to you in your design software. I've imported those and I've applied it to the model. In this case, just the concrete floor slab, but I could also import the steel for these angles that we see here, for the CLT walls, for the glulam, for the precast concrete lower walls, and different mixes of different strengths for the foundation system. So I've uploaded that model. It's instantly recognized that we've used a material that originally came from BRANZ Masterspec, but now via Nezo into your design model. I'm able to click on that. And here on the selection, it's telling me what the upfront embodied carbon emissions are for that selection, for that material we've used, because Nezo, when you upload it, has completed the quantification of all of the materials that are used in that design model, and now it's linked to that database. If you were to use the Nezo assembly or composite materials, we'd also be giving you information on cost data and weight data as well for that material that you've used. Now, another material we have here, or another process we can do, is map here inside of the dashboard. Again, we've not done an IFC export import workflow. All of this is happening directly inside your design software. So in this case, we've selected on this precast concrete wall panel. Now, rather than go back, import that material and use it in the design model, we can do that mapping directly from here. So we'll just write in precast and we'll see under EPD only, which is actually referencing that Masterspec database. You can see we have structural walls and we have different assemblies, mixes of precast concrete. So thinking about, is it 20 MPa, 30 MPa, 40 MPa concrete? Does it have a 100 up to 200 and higher reinforcement content? So let's just pick one of these. This option doesn't have a cement replacement, so those options are available. And once that syncs, you see that not only do we have the original concrete slab that we brought in and actually used in the model, but now via mapping, we have another material that has been associated with that database, quantified, and results generated here in the application. We could go back to the summary for an overall rating, but this is where we're going to keep adding materials and explore our material specifications and try to identify if there's any opportunities to save cost, increase sustainability, lower emissions. Cool. So once we've worked through all of the materials that you see here, take about 10 minutes or so, we're able to go ahead and download the Greenstar report. Now, the cool thing about the Greenstar report, I've actually already opened a version here just to save on a few seconds, is you do not have to download those resources on trying to quantify the A4 travel emissions yourself. You do not have to try and work out the wastage of materials yourself. All of that is actually handled in the New Zealand Green Building Council's upfront embodied carbon calculator tool, which is a freely downloadable Excel tool from their website that everybody has access to. You can see here the BRANZ data has actually been brought in to run the calculation within this document. All you as the user needs to do is put in the quantities of materials you're going to use in your project and nominate what those materials are. Now, when you download a report, a Greenstar report from Nezo, click that button. You just saw it downloaded to my desktop, although I have a previously open version here. All of that information is filled in for you. So that's a process that now only takes seconds. Data is filled in and all of these quantity tabs can now be ignored because we've handled that for you. We've done the quantification, we've done the translation, we've done the relationship back to the Masterspec database. And all you need to do now is make sure you're putting information about your project in, which is just what city centre it is close to, how far away is your site from the city, and GFA, a few other small details, and you'll be able to explore the full life cycle. So not just that A1 to A3, the full life cycle through to end of life of those materials. There's really good results tabs within this tool where we can explore in a high level of detail, more macro level of detail here, or personal favorite, the graphical results that we see here. So that is how you can enjoy using the new Neco tool from BRANZ and Masterspec, but in a more actionable way by using it via using Nezo inside of your design, your existing design workflow, and without leaving your design software. So we bring the data to where you are and we handle all the more laborious tasks to make it fast.